Now we are going to present the following speaker, Pandey K. Trimayuni. She graduated from University of Indonesia, and she holds a master degree from the London School of Economic, LSE, UK. Pandey has quite a remarkable provision and various interests, including a lecturer, writer, researchers, editor, and advisor for some international institutions. And she is going to present topic on role of women in handling global economic, particularly women and their roles to solve global economic problems. Pandey, I invite you to take it over, please.
Thank you very much, Ibu Tika, for having me for this webinar. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pandey Trimayuni. And this afternoon, we will discuss about, I will try to present on women and the economy in Indonesia. Next slide, please. Okay, this is actually, I try to collect some, to get a sense of where is women in the global workforce. So here we have some figures, yeah, that's most of the women actually in the global workforce, they work in the services, yeah. And I believe that what's a big part of the services that done by women in this case actually not only for working within the country but also across the countries, yeah, as migrant workers, for example, especially women domestic workers, yeah. That's where actually Indonesia send quite a lot of a big number, yeah, of women as women domestic workers abroad like that. And I think Indonesia is here contribute quite a big number in the services sector in the world. And also here we have also some women actually in the industry, in the agriculture, and there are some actually a small number in the leadership, yeah. For example, in the CEO, it's only CEO Fortune 500 companies, yeah. It's only 4% of women actually represented in the biggest companies in the world. And also in the parliament, in general, actually, there is only about 23% of women, yeah. Next, please. And also in terms of wages, yeah. So it's suggested that at least 50% of the world's women are in paid wage and salary employments. However, women earn only about 10 to 30%, yeah. Women earn 10 to 30% less than men, yeah, for the same work. I think this is already discussed also. With the Prof. Katrina, yeah, that's how actually women's in the global economy is still very much underrepresented. Next, please. And also in senior management level, yeah, this is already discussed. Only 24 women CEOs, yeah, compared to only 1 in 1998. So there is only an increase of 23 women, yeah, since the past 20 years. And so, okay, this is the data from 2017 actually. Next, please. So now we are talking about women in the global pandemics, yeah. And so I would like to use the economic angles to discuss about these topics, yeah. As we are, most of us actually from the background of international relations, here I will try to discuss on how actually pandemic is actually a globalization phenomenon. Yeah, it's a in this pandemic we can see how actually globalization affect the everyday life of people. So when we talk about globalization, it's not only about the flow of goods and services, but also it's about how the this globalization affect our life, and in this case, actually, how the pandemic, the disease, the COVID-19 disease, that previously some of us was thinking that it's only happened in China, but then we can observe it happen almost all over the world. So this is actually one of the characteristic of globalization that we can see in this case, and how actually this pandemic was eventually affect men and women differently. And we can see that this pandemic actually now it's not only about the bring the health issues, but also the economic issues. And some of the countries already declare they are now toward a crisis, economic crisis, because of because of the lockdown. It's difficulties in doing exports, and also difficulty in attracting investors to invest in our countries. And so this is actually affect the economic of many countries in the world, including Indonesia as well. And for women, actually, we can observe actually for women the effect of this pandemic even worse, because women typically many of us are women, we experience by ourselves that we juggle between earning and caring, So in one side we have some responsibilities, in our professional life, but also on the other side, we have also some caring responsibilities. And even actually, this is become more difficult for those that have no fixed income, They work in the informal economy, for example. And this crisis actually we observe is different, in the context of Indonesia, for example. This crisis in this COVID-19 pandemic is different with the crisis in 1998, for example. At that time, there are many women that involved in the informal sectors, especially for micro and small and medium enterprises They're still able to produce and sell their product. But now become difficult because we have a lockdown. We have to stay at home, so it's we become a big challenge for women that work in the informal sector, in the micro and small industry, on how they have to survive. So there are some challenges and opportunities here actually for women, and some other women actually especially in rural areas actually, they in the rural they try to manage how they can fulfill the needs of their family, for example, by conducting what's called the subsistence economy, So they try to plant some fruit, vegetables, in their neighborhood actually, So this is actually what women in Indonesia have done actually to survive in these pandemics. Next, please. So it's what is the opportunities? We try to look at the positives, the opportunities, to what's the encouraging side of these pandemics, We believe that women as drivers of people's economy, and women is everywhere in the formal and informal economy, from big to small or micro economy. And women as entrepreneurs actually increase rapidly, from time to time. And women in the informal economy, they involve in many parts of the chains, from produce the finished or half finished products, and some of them actually they produce high value products, And now actually, because of this pandemic, many of them that previously they was working offline, yeah. And now there's actually a challenge for them actually to also use online platform, Instagram, Facebook, yeah, and other thing. And from my experience, actually, what I observed in Bali, for example, in Bali there are so many women that involved in informal sectors in home industry, yeah. Before they they hardly use online platform, but now because there are no tourists come to Bali, for example, so the only choice they have to sell their product is to use the online platform. So they start to use Instagram, Facebook, and other platform, yeah, to sell their product. Next, please. Yeah, this is actually was some photos from my previous research. Yeah, women in the informal sector. Next, please. Yeah. Yeah. Next, please. Yeah. Next, please. This is in Bali actually. Next, please. Yeah, okay. And how I think now, yeah, in the new normal era, what is important for women is on how women have access to technology, especially women entrepreneurs and technology. Yeah, there is a growing number of women actually working as entrepreneurs. Yeah, and even actually I heard from the CEO of Facebook Indonesia. Yeah, she's a woman. So, she said that actually the Indonesian women's entrepreneurs are actually those that starting to use Instagram to sell their products. Before, all over the world, people use Instagram only to to save their photos, to share their photos like that. But now, women of Indonesia actually the ones that use Instagram, yeah, to sell their product, and then followed by many women all over the world. So actually, there is already a sense of women of Indonesia actually on how to use this digital platform, yeah, for commercial purposes like that. And for women entrepreneurs in technology, this is actually based my previous research, yeah. Actually, there is degree of need of technology being felt by the women. This research actually before the COVID, yeah. So the thing that's okay if we think that this technology is good, can increase our sellings, for example. Okay, we will use. If not, no need like that. And the degree can this degree of need can be based on the scope of their business, yeah, small, huge, local, expanded, short, long chains of production, distribution, and the level of welfare. For example, the poor women actually they use less technology because they think that to use technology meaning that they have to buy gadget, they have to spend money for credits, for the cell phone credits and other things. And this is actually what's difficult for them, yeah. And so women entrepreneurs actually, as what I discussed before, they try to start to shift from offline platform to online, yeah. Use Instagram, Facebooks, yeah, Indonesian women pioneers, yeah, to use Instagram for business. And but the problem is digital media for women actually their access actually is the access internet access, for example, whether for all.
Sorry, Pandey, I have to remind you we don't have
okay
time.
Yeah,
sorry.
Okay, this is there are some difficulty also faced by women. And however, actually, on the positive side, access to technologies actually make it possible for women for multitasking work. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah. Okay. This is actually just a glance of Indonesia was as a digital country. I think next, please. Yeah, because of the time. Next, please. Yeah, here I see actually the potential of the emerging of home-based workers, yeah, home-based work for women actually. Now even my friends actually, lecturers, researchers, they try to sell something. They try to open catering, they sell, you know, they sell mask, they sell hand sanitizer, many things. So actually, I see here women of Indonesia have a potential to, you know, to develop home-based work actually. And so home-based work in this is previously home-based work may be considered as not a work, yeah, just a secondary activity like that. But home-based work is actually a real work in the new normal, I believe. So this is home-based work now is having increasingly significant, even primary, yeah, for the source of earning for women actually, because there are many employment now, yeah. So this is even become a source of earning for many families. And example of the home-based work that done by women so far in Indonesia, for example, food processing, handicraft, small garment, and other manufacturing. Next, please. Okay, this is a thing I will not discuss. This is actually, I would like to show that actually on the legal basis, we already have enough legal basis there to support women's involvement in the economy actually. And hopefully, yeah, because now government also provide financial support, yeah, for entrepreneurs. Hopefully, women government also pay attention on the needs of women entrepreneurs and women in the informal sectors and women that actually marginalized, yeah, in the poor families from the village. So I hope that all women in Indonesia have the same access, the same opportunity to take benefits from the the money, yeah, the budget that already allocated by government, yeah, to help people to survive in this pandemic. I think it's enough for now, Ibu.
Which is in my chapter in book of gender and international relations. Women from Southeast Asia comprise only 13% of total around 1,000 fighters.